Jam-packed 2 hours here on the Real Kyper and Bourne Show. The Kypreos, Justin Bourne, Sammy McKee, Frank the Tank, Braska, and Derek Brandale. We're live on Sportsnet 360, streaming always on Sportsnet Plus, also available Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube when you can't catch us live. All right, boys. We got plenty to dive into. Stanley Cup Playoffs, of course, blazing out of the gate again last night. Tremendous action. We'll get into all of that. In the meantime, just some house cleaning with the Toronto Maple Leafs, just in terms of maybe a search getting narrowed down. Our Elliot Friedman on Sportsnet.ca threw his 32 thoughts, really feeling like we're getting down to the nitty-gritty. I'm not sure if they are a lot of household names that are out there.
Right.
But they're out there.
Yeah. Luke Fox also has an article, what you should know about Toronto Maple Leafs GM finalists. So that list would be Ryan Martin of the New York Rangers, Scott White of the Dallas Stars, Evan Gold of the Boston Bruins, and John Chayka of Wendy's.
Okay. And
I don't mean that to sound so dismissive, but that's currently what he's doing.
so do you think
That's a whopper of a list.
No, wrong.
Crap.
Franchise.
so we're going
Frosty reception.
as far as the GM position of the Toronto Maple Leafs, we're going from Boston Pizza to Wendy's.
Oh, my God. Kippy. Oh, man. From a pierogi pizza to a frosty.
I think we got the concession stands down pat.
Well looked at.
Is there a Stanley Cup to be presented for the best concessions?
I imagine that they'll be selling that'll be the drinking vessel.
He apparently, Chayka has been killing it with his Wendy's franchises.
Yeah.
Well, I would hope so.
Yeah.
Listen, not to besmirch John Chayka, Wendy's rocks. It's like, I love Wendy's. Like, it's not like I'm going to be like, boy, that Wendy's really was way better than those other ones.
Yeah. You can't take Wendy's every time.
Oh, a junior
That's one of
bacon
the perks.
cheeseburger? Sounds good.
JVC for the kid?
Can't screw up a square patty, can you?
I don't know.
But the last time he was a general manager was in Arizona, and it ended ugly.
Yeah.
Just in terms of the league's decision to suspend him for circumventing the salary cap around what I believe was physical testing on prospects.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
And it was
they lost a second and a first round pick.
Was it the draft combine that they were?
It was significant.
That's a major penalty.
Right?
Yeah.
And like is that like golfing with my dad now? Is that a complete mulligan? Off the first tee? Do people care, not care? Are we in that era where it's like, yeah, I mean, it wasn't a federal case here, he went in, he had a hearing, he pled guilty, and he took his punishment.
Yeah, but he
now
also
move on.
Yeah, but he also had the falling out at the end of his time there, right? Where he was doing a job interview without permission of the franchise. If I'm not mistaken, he had to leave Arizona before the playoffs that year.
Yeah.
So, I don't have any opinion on how things were going in Arizona because they were bad on purpose and kind of building toward the future. And he wasn't able to see it through to that.
And as far as I know, he's been reinstated. It's no longer an issue. It's water under the bridge. And
but I guess what was seen over that time that would make you think that he is, I know his sister, Megan, she is very analytically driven and intelligent and good with that stuff. I don't know, I'd be less shocked if her name was involved. That it sounds like he's out doing business. I don't know. I don't have much opinion because I think we have much to go on with
so
him.
basically, he's been out for 5 years, right? And we talked about Mike Gillis being out for 12.
Right.
If you heard Mike Gillis's name, does the 12 concern you? Does the 5 concern you with Chayka?
For Gillis, yeah, it does concern me. That's a long time, and the questions are always why. Why are there not more people who are eager to have you involved?
Can I be totally honest?
Yeah.
This whole list concerns me.
Yeah. But Friedge is also saying that I think there's some misdirection out there.
Well, he referenced leaks and noise. There's a lot of leaks and noise out there.
Oh, you mean people are speculating about the general manager job for the most popular team in the league?
Well,
people are
it's
talking
not
about it.
speculation. It's leaks. Sam.
Well, yeah, but
we get to speculate and talk. When you talk about leaks, the insinuation is that it's coming from the inside and getting out.
I mean, I don't know. Every sport has this and every level.
Yes, but Elliot doesn't report every team having leaks and noise.
Well, yeah, because your point with the leaks and noise is that like they got some people who got to go.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. It's just
is this related to the article that came out?
It just seems like there's a lot more like noise. I guess that's the word Elliot used, and we've all covered stories and we've all tried to make calls and maybe get some inside information and intel. But it's very rare where a guy like Elliot Friedman just like makes it a point to publicly speak of it.
But yeah. And so what's strange though is you have these finalists.
I don't want to get too inside baseball here, but the reason that more people are reporting on it and more people are calling and because more people care. Like it's like nobody, you know why you don't hear anything about Nashville? Because nobody cares. There's millions and millions of people that care about this job and care about it. So clearly there's more.
We hear some stuff on Nashville too.
Well, yeah, but like, I'm sorry, we're not leading a big radio, well, I guess not radio today, YouTube and Sportsnet show with talk with the Nashville Predators.
Yeah.
People care about this. That's why there's leaks. That's why there's speculation. That's why people talk about it. Them's the breaks.
But I think we've learned that, from that Athletic article, there's a lot more people here right now willing to leak, to talk, to whatever. I'm surprised that we have a list of 4 finalists and Gillis is not on it. Like, I don't know what to make of that. What are you hearing about all this?
Like anyone else, I mean, there's just nothing definitive to report or like want to speculate. We can do that for
I do
a while.
Yeah, let's do it.
So here's what I'll speculate.
Okay, here everything after this is just guesswork.
That the Leafs don't want to go down that path.
The Gillis path.
Yeah, the Gillis path.
Yeah.
Or B, Gillis doesn't want to go down that path.
Mm-hmm.
Or C, they have a mutual understanding and maybe there's details to be ironed out and we could still see them. So there's multiple situations here, and I just think it's like eerily quiet right now on Gillis.
Yeah. It is because you're not hearing anyone say that he's out of the running, but he's not on anyone's list of who's here.
There's people that are speculating, I'm just following my Leafs X and social media or whatever. And a lot of people are just kind of saying that, maybe Gillis is already done and he's part of the process. And it's like, they're keeping it like that is people are speculating that every day.
Yeah. And with everything that we've seen, nothing would surprise us.
Mm.
But I believe that I think Gillis would want to be in a position in a perfect world. And I don't know whether or not he looks at it and goes, I've been out for 12 years. I'll do whatever I need to do to get back in.
Well, it's not just back in, it's the Leafs.
I know. But if you were to present Gillis and say Chaika and Matt Sundin, I don't know if I'm just speculating. We're speculating.
I didn't mean for that. That wasn't about Matt.
We're speculating.
Let's just say that.
Okay.
That groan wasn't about Matt.
Would Mike be okay with that? Yeah. Looking as 3 as a team instead of I'm the leader here.
He doesn't feel like a team guy.
I think he feels like I got to be in charge of this or I'm not doing it. But I don't know what 12 years out of the business does for him. Maybe he could change his mind and say yes to a team look.
The whole power struggle thing is so funny. It's like Succession or something. You're thinking of the Dubas and Shanahan days and guys trying to leverage for more. It's just not, I guess, just not in my nature. So it's strange to me to see this no, you want to make me the GM of the Leafs, but I have to have people under me? Oh, I'm not interested in that unless it's just me. Like, I don't want that.
Yeah, like, you have, oh my God, heaven forbid you have somebody to bounce ideas on.
Be a part of a team, figure things out together.
I don't know. We'll see.
Chaika's record in Arizona, I don't think was that great. Correct me if I'm wrong. They went to one conference final, maybe.
Yeah, they had that
LA.
one. Yeah.
I think
that was the year the Kings won the cup.
Yeah.
If you were going to talk about something
Mike Smith was unbelievable.
With his reputation, he was kind of on the forefront of signing those long-term deals that are supposed to grow in value, right? Like he signed Schmaltz early. Was it Schmaltz? He signed Chikrin early. He signed a lot of guys. He also signed Oliver Ekman-Larsson to that massive contract there too.
Right.
But I think he was sort of on the cutting edge of signing these guys before they really become something to find value longer term in their and which has been happening a ton now. Like you've seen it with Gunther, you've seen it with all these different guys that's happened. So I remember that for part of it, but I don't really remember any of like the big trades
He's
made.
obviously a very smart person, right? He's having success again at a different high profile thing.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I do believe that
I'm dubious.
they are narrowing this down. I had heard that some of these assistant GMs have been told they're out. So
Some of the ones we're talking about today?
yes.
Oh.
Do you know the names?
No.
Sure.
No, I'm not sure. But I'm not throwing names out.
Okay, fair. That's fair.
So it does seem like it's kind of narrowing down. Now, again,
I had heard we might find out tomorrow.
there you go. Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah.
This has got Friday news dump written all over it.
I'd be surprised if they try to squeeze it in this week.
Yeah, it wouldn't make sense. And that was kind of my reaction was that at this point you just do a whole Monday introduction or Tuesday introduction. And
Yeah. I will stick to what I said last week that I do believe that it still needs some NHL experience. So if it's not Gillis, then I got to be leaning towards John Chaika.
is that right? Well, hey, listen, we would have to do a lot of learning here to figure out, because he hasn't been in the game for 5 years and no one followed those Arizona teams all that closely. So might be time to get digging, doing our research on what the old Yotes used to do.
I'll just save my thoughts. Come on.
That's the Doug McClain. Seriously?
Seriously? Don't have to go full Doug McClain, but seriously?
Yeah. Listen, it's hard. I guess
But it didn't used to be.
it's hard. Yeah.
It didn't used to
It
be.
seems to be harder now to attract some names. And it used to be an automatic. You just find the biggest names out there and somehow they'd either come to you or it was easy for you to get them. But it's not the case anymore.
Let's talk about the hockey.
Yeah, please. Can we talk about the awesome hockey?
How awesome was the hockey?
Okay.
I think the natural place to start.
Sorry.
What?
Hold on. I did want to bring up Shane Doan.
Oh, yeah, right.
Okay.
Doan is apparently being rumored, Home Run Angels, being rumored to go to Vancouver.
Yeah.
They've asked for permission to talk to him.
Yeah.
Interesting that they would see him as a fit for GM, but the Leafs have him here and didn't see that, didn't want that.
Yeah, I kind of got this theory about names this time of year and if they're just being out there just to kind of be out there. And there's twofold, okay, whether you're Vancouver, Toronto, or you're Shane Doan or Chaika or any one of them. It's like, yeah, my name's out there, but how legitimate it is or how serious is another kettle of fish.
Mm-hmm.
So to your point, like if you're not that interested in Shane Doan in Toronto, then, is Vancouver just kind of getting names out there just to cover themselves as the last thing you want to be. The last thing you want to be accused of is you didn't really look. Mm-hmm. You didn't talk to people. You didn't bring them in. You didn't do this and that. And there's something to be said for trying to do some due diligence.
There are certain people who are recently of the game who you can tell are trying to work their way into it. Spezza being one, Ryan Getzlaf, Shane Doan. These are guys that are.
And I don't know prior to this how much Shane had with an experience. And again, he was a Brad Treliving guy. Mm-hmm. So I think it's safe to say that you're not necessarily keep a Brad Treliving guy, that you're very tight with. Mm-hmm. So that might have a lot to do with why he's not in the mix right now. But, and I don't mean disrespect to Shane Doan, but like he's to me, he's still not quite ready.
Sure.
right? I think he needs some more seasoning, some more involvement here. You know, how much he took on with the Leafs is debatable. I did hear he had a big part in Michelli, which was terrific. You know, I mean, how that
Which was what?
Terrific.
Michelli.
No, I heard you.
Well, what was terrific is that, you know,
that he was involved.
that he would have had a lot of input and a lot of background on getting a player to Toronto. Now, we'll sit here and have a different conversation whether or not it was a good pick or not good pick, but I'm not talking about that.
Right.
I'm just talking about the experience of going through something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But is it enough now for him to go into a Vancouver market and
Yes, you don't think
and
that's
take
happening?
over?
Yeah, it seems unlikely, I guess, but
Seems unlikely.
you know, I guess that it does put his name out there for other teams to be reminded
Sure.
that this guy
And-
has been in the front office and now wants to
and
be in
let-
one again. And
I think we have noticed over the years that if you want your name out there, it come to Toronto.
yeah, sure,
It's the best place, man, to
there's
get your name
no
out
doubt,
there.
no doubt. People know about, you know, when you name Barb Underhill, skating coach or whatever. Just
Oh.
go through the list of people here that people know about. That if you're in
it's
Chicago,
it's a second intermission feature on Hockey Night in Canada.
right, like you can. We know all about all the secondary staff
Right?
and the
Anything with the
yeah.
Toronto Maple Leafs gets that type of attention. It's
which should be part of the appeal to come here for people, right? Be a place to blow your name up. Although sometimes names get blown up here. So
yeah.
watch where you step.
Okay, where do we want to start? Tampa Bay
Yeah. I do.
and the Montreal Canadiens. I'm covering that series for Sportsnet Central.
Oh, you selling out the Leafs, are you, for the Canadian?
I am. And they let them off the hook. Montreal let Tampa Bay off the hook.
You thought they had the game in control?
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, Sam texted our group last night, and I thought it was a good point. Like, it felt like Tampa was hanging on, like trying to play keep up to a faster, better Montreal team at times for a while. But they are a hardened, proven veteran group that doesn't go away easily. And, you know, by the time they got to OT, it felt like it was going to be Tampa's game.
I got to say, I was so fired up about Brendan Hagel. I can't think of many more guys in the league that I love more than him. and I should hate him.
Slavkovsky
He's got some
too.
fire in his belly.
I should hate him.
Yeah.
I just, you know,
2 games, he's got 3 goals, 1 assist for 4 points, +4, 9 PIMs with a fight. He's all over the rink.
Gordie Howe hat trick.
Yeah.
I love everything about him. I love his energy. I love his passion.
Uh-huh.
I could do without the playing up to the crowd.
You know,
Yeah,
you know, to
I
me,
can. You don't need it. You don't need it. It's like are you trying to fire them up? Are you thinking that they're not fired up enough?
No, I
Are you
think
trying to
Hagel-
fire up your own team?
I don't think he's trying to do anything. I think he is a legitimately nasty guy who doesn't care.
Tell me, Sammy.
He just beat the crap out of the Canadians guy who got a hat trick in the game before.
No, that was before.
Whatever,
Before.
with 20,000 people
Before
going nuts.
I think he's just got to calm down a little bit.
Too small.
That's my.
What?
Too small.
That's
Slavkovsky
just-
is incredible.
That's just all I'm saying. I love him.
See,
I do.
I think you got the wrong guy there. I think Brady Tkachuk needs to calm down.
Okay.
I think Hagel thrives on this sort of
Yeah.
dog, scrappy,
Okay.
whatever.
It's not a big deal. I'm not making a big deal out of it.
So I
Don't put
just,
in the newspaper, I'm mad.
I mean, for him to step in there, get that building going like that, I couldn't help but think about the Leafs aspect of it. And we are technically in the Leafs hour, but the trade that wasn't, and that was reported. And, you know, like I think it was Drager that said it a few years ago about that they almost traded for Nyes for Hagel at one point. And I can't help but think, but this guy would be the second coming of Darcy Tucker. He'd be the most popular guy in the city. He is exactly what every Leaf
It's
fan
funny
wants.
because I, from the Leafs perspective, watched that fight, and I thought, who on the Leafs would have been Slavkovsky that would have accepted that fight? You know,
None.
among their
Should be nice.
best players. Now, absolutely, it should be. He hadn't been there for a lot of it, but now it should be for sure. But it hasn't been yet.
No.
To me, that even Slav did that was like, okay, I scored a hat trick the game before, and I'm still willing to do this. Like that.
I loved it.
That's
I
awesome.
absolutely loved it from both sides.
And he's not going to get hit like that too often if he agrees to those more.
Listen, they're little Mighty Mouse punches too. I mean, it's Hagel. It's not Tom Wilson throwing haymakers. It's not Joey Kosher.
We got it.
Right?
I was like, yeah, okay.
It caught him. It caught him.
I don't know.
It caught him. But, he's not.
Excuse us while we go quiet.
I mean, Hagel's, it knocked him over, but it didn't. You got right back up, buddy.
Yeah.
It didn't roll his eyes back.
He catches him on the chin, right? And that's enough to just give you a little glitch.
It's okay.
On the button.
Ding.
On the
That's
button.
a pretty good Mighty Mouse.
That's on the button, Kip.
I'm not saying it wasn't.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is that hey, I've stood and taken those from Tony Twist. I've taken them from like some serious guys that could end not your career, your life.
Oh.
That punch wasn't it.
Yeah.
I got to say though, he took Slav out of that game. I like after that fight, I barely noticed Slafkovsky turn the puck over on one of the goals. Like I thought that was the guy that killed them the last game. Their heart and soul player goes out there, punches him to the ice, scores a goal, gets this Gordie Howe hat trick. I just thought it was a statement game from the Lightning and him. I loved it.
Bieksa did a really good package of Kucherov getting too caught up in the shenanigans and the.
Yeah, they're doing a hell of a job on him though.
Yeah.
The defense, Gooley, Carrier, they're doing a great job of shutting things down, man. Matheson doesn't have much room. He's not getting much room. They're not giving the middle of the ice open to those guys.
Yeah.
They can't get to the net, and that's as much of anything. And Montreal, to your point, Sammy, that Slafkovsky was the most glaring mistake they've made in 2 games. Okay? That was a gift. That one was, you hope you don't look back on the series and go, we're up 2-0. And that one was the one that changed it. Mm-hmm. And you hope that's not the case.
The one thing, too, like, say what you want to a Kuch. So they end up scoring the goal. Kucherov makes it 2-2, if I'm not mistaken.
You're right.
They've been going head-to-head. Coop's got them matched up with Suzuki's line. Suzuki, Caulfield, and Slav were, one of the top few scoring lines in the NHL this year.
That's such a bad thing.
And they got nothing, right? No even strength goals from that line. Caulfield, 50-goal guy, he's not on the board yet. So, say what you will about
wash.
Cooch. It's a wash. Well, they're up on him. The Hagel and Cooch line, they're up on those guys. So that's going to be a different battle. I bet that matchup flips.
The power play, too, for Montreal. So, Suzuki and Caulfield have been very good on the power play.
Very good.
And that won them in game 1.
Yep.
So, the difference now is some of your depth guys, and Anderson was owning it last night. Absolutely owning it.
Yeah. How about,
do you want to just, do you want to get a thought up from Hagel on his fight?
Yeah, let's listen to Hagel. Brandon Hagel, clip 1 on his fight with Slafkovsky.
I think, listen, I think everyone in the room knows we're good when we play with emotion. And not just myself, but guys are willing to try and bring everyone into the fight. And that was kind of what I was trying to do a little bit. And obviously it worked. Able to get the win, but it's a good team over there. It's going to be like this the entire series. So I'm excited to get to Montreal.
Obviously, I'm good at it.
Excited to get to Montreal, where last year, a fight with Brandon Hagel, he was a hero, right? He drops the gloves off the opening face-off.
Oh, yeah.
With Matthew Tkachuk at the Bell Center, right? And it's like one of the greatest. And now he's going there as #1 villain.
This is something that maybe you can speak to a little better, but I feel like these guys, and I have Matthew Tkachuk in mind when I say this, they get to a level, and Marchand, where they're like, everyone's coming for me anyway.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't have anything to fear because they hate me as is. So I might as well continue to do this sort of stuff.
Yeah, and there's some guys that are very comfortable being uncomfortable. Yeah. And there's others where they just don't want to go down that path.
And me as a player, I wouldn't want the eyeballs to turn on me.
Because I don't know how if I can sustain it.
Right.
Emotionally.
I don't think I can do this 7 straight times, let alone 4 series of it.
2 months. Yeah. 2 months. I think Hagel it will be just fine. Mm-hmm. and the guys that you spoke of are just fine.
Yeah.
And it becomes habit forming.
Could Josh Anderson do it for that long? That's a bigger ask
Well,
to me because he's been awesome.
I mean,
Yeah,
certain
no.
nights with him, you think he's the best power forward
But
in the league.
He's
Right?
good. Josh Anderson is a top 50 player in the league.
Focused.
Yeah.
Josh's issue is he can disappear for 3 games.
Yeah.
Right?
Speaking of Josh Anderson, what did you make of?
Okay, hold on. Just one more thing on the Hagel fight,
Okay.
Slafkovsky fight, okay, is that my favorite part of the game last night was they sat and they were looking at each other for a split second, right? And the official left them alone.
Yes,
Okay.
both officials.
They were
said,
like,
"All right,
and I'll
boys."
tell you exactly what happened. Okay. We are done with the pillow fight scrums here.
Yep.
Take your gloves off and go.
Yeah,
And that's exactly what happened.
that's enough
And,
foreplay.
and that was enough. We didn't see many scrums like that, like we did before that.
Yeah.
And it just cleaned it up a little bit.
So funny. Like someone had a great tweet that I can't describe very well, but more or less every single whistle, it was like, it's your point. They at each other, face wash, gloves, whatever. And you see
Nobody took their gloves off in
Right.
any of it.
What's it? Ken Reed calls it Gen Z brawl or something like that. I forget this phrase, but it's like, just do it then.
Perry
And
flew
that's
in.
exactly what happened.
Perry flew in on one of them and dropped his gloves early, I think, in the game before that fight happened. So there's something to it.
Yeah.
I got to ask about having Scott Sabourin on the ice with 2 minutes left in the hockey game and then having him do a Scott Sabourin thing. It didn't cost him, but
You know, he wanted Anderson. I think he was in there because of Anderson, right? From the previous game.
Oh, I think that was abundantly clear
Yeah.
that he needed to
Take Anderson out of the game.
answer something back.
And at that point of the game, in a tie game, it's just not your time. From behind, you can't do that. It was the worst play.
You can do that until you can't do that.
Totally.
And it's
2
hard
minutes
to
left, you
explain, but you don't know the answer until the picture kind of forms.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a horrible penalty to take that could once again be no different than a pass like Slafkovsky's that could cost you a game, that could easily cost you the game and maybe the series. But here's the but.
Yeah.
If you get a big kill, if Anderson separates his shoulder and is out for the rest of the series, it's a good play.
Right.
It's a good penalty to take.
Yeah.
And it's a game changer. And it's like, sometimes you got to just take your chances sometimes, and you don't know until you know. And that's what people have to understand. Like right now,
But it doesn't excuse it. Just,
I mean,
when you get it wrong, you're on the hook for it.
do that with
when you absolutely
do it
But
with 5 minutes in the first period.
If Anderson is out tomorrow night,
Oh, yeah, now it's great.
if he is neutered now the rest of the series, if he can't hit, if he's only at 50%, you're like, hey, it's early in the series. I took a gamble. I took a chance, and it paid off.
Set the tone.
Pat Maroon tweeted, how Josh Anderson has been playing all series. Those are the ones you kill off for a player. You can say it was dumb with 2 minutes left, but something needed to be done. Anderson been going after skill all series.
He was running around.
Right?
He was running around.
And listen, we would have killed him, too. It's so easy.
Let's
It's
listen-
so
It's a dumb
easy to
penalty.
kill him.
Yeah.
I thought it was equally
But he's
stupid
in there
to
for
have.
a purpose.
I thought it was equally stupid to have him on the ice at that point of the game.
I don't think they think he's a bad player.
Let's listen to Coop because Coop had a great clip on Scott Sabourin. Clip 2 from Cooper, please.
Well, again, your job as a coach is to give your team the best chance to win, and lineup changes throughout the playoffs are something that's commonplace. I think, Sabby, he has a definite role in this team, and is it, adding up? He finds his way on the score sheet. It just in different sections of it, and but teams plays a little bit bigger when he's in the lineup, and he knows his role. He's exceptional on the bench, and for 58 minutes, he kind of held it together. There's just parts I can't control everything. So he was But I think he was a big part of us having success tonight.
Yeah,
I love that clip.
He's like, listen, he was doing great.
He's a thug. I don't know what to tell you.
I would have hated the hit if I'm Montreal.
Oh, yeah.
Just dirty, sneaky.
The type that can really hurt you too. Like a
Never saw it coming.
Right? Never saw it coming.
Yeah.
Come on, you hit a guy from behind, and he's defenseless. But like I said, roll the dice, baby.
But it's also for Sabrin that makes him relevant now. He's like, oh, you want to come get me?
Oh no, he's
beautiful.
He's a major player right now in this series.
Like he's like, okay, yeah, I want you to want me.
I don't know if you've watched his fight with Jack Guy though earlier from the year. Maybe not want that one again.
But do you remember what happened in October of this very season with Scott Sabrin?
I do. Remind me.
He started the season in preseason
Oh,
looking
yeah.
for revenge for the postseason violence of Aaron Ekblad
Right.
on, was it Hagel?
Yes.
And he took a 4-game suspension on Ekblad. It was egregious in preseason. And they called him up so he could serve the suspension. So when they really wanted him, he'd be available because
Coop
they
loves him.
appreciated what he did.
Yeah. Coop
So
loves him.
he said he has a role on this team. He accepts what it is. He's the guy that years ago Austin Matthews gave the name bar check.
Yeah, he checked. Yeah.
Back in the day.
No.
That had sauce, and Matthews doesn't have that sauce right now.
No.
I miss that Matthews.
Yeah.
Mario did that to me one night in Pittsburgh.
Oh,
Really?
Mario.
Well, no, in a different way.
What do you do?
He just looked at me and goes, "Hey, Kypreos, why don't you go back to the minors?"
Yeah.
And gave me that kind of look.
Yeah.
And then I was so excited because he knew my name.
Whoa, Mario!
Mario.
That's fantastic. All right, let's hit a break.
All right. When we return, Mike Russo will join us, NHL writer for The Athletic, covering the Minnesota Wild and the Dallas Stars, plus a little Buffalo and Boston talk. Apparently, Andrew Peters kind of ruffled a few feathers yesterday.
You think?
Lukanen ruffled a few more.
And,
Whoa.
Mike Trout. Yeah, he just ruffled Eric Lauer's feathers.
Plenty more when we return to Real Kyper and Bourne.
Hey, Natasha.
Welcome back in studio. The Kypreos, Justin Bourne, Sammy McKee. The Dallas Stars are back in the series against the Minnesota Wild after a tough Game 1 loss. Here to talk about it, Mike Russo, NHL writer for The Athletic in Minnesota. Michael, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing great. How are you, Kyper?
Okay, so I think the Wild are convinced it's not going to be as easy as they thought after Game 1.
Yeah, yeah. Game 1 was, I think that game could easily be explained to just low energy on Dallas's part. I don't want to make excuses for them. I know it's the playoffs, but the Wild, they strategically rested their guys for about a week before the season started. The Dallas Stars didn't. The other thing is the Wild ended at home on Tuesday, took Wednesday off. Dallas was up in Buffalo on Wednesday, took Thursday off, and I just think that they didn't come out with the same energy and vigor that you'd expect, and the Wild absolutely did. But absolutely, Monday's game is exactly what I think that the Wild expected from this series, and I think it's what we're going to see going forward. Two teams that don't like each other, two teams that are highly competitive, and that was a game where the Wild easily could have won. They didn't, but they still have home ice advantage, and now it's a chance to really come back here to Grand Casino Arena and really take control of the series.
Has anything through the first two games changed how you felt about the series going into it?
No, not at all. I mean, I do think that Zuccarello's injury is the one that I'd be the most concerned about if I was Minnesota. We'll see if he plays tonight. But look, the Wild's power play has been dynamic, really, for the second half of the season. I think Faber and Hughes have been terrific so far in this series, and Kaprizov and Boldy are getting their chances. I think the bottom six is they could be an angry group, especially with the Felinos and Michael McCarron, and they're obviously running around, which I expected. Obviously, I just think that these are two evenly matched teams. Every single metric coming into this series told you that both teams had their stars, both teams had great goaltending. Probably if you mentioned if you bring up a surprise, Justin, definitely Jesper Wallstedt starting is probably the biggest surprise that I had going into the series, and it doesn't shock me that he's performed quite well so far.
You're watching and listening to Mike Russo, who's covering Dallas and Minnesota for The Athletic. So the Quinn Hughes factor, everything that Bill Guerin was hoping for in terms of what you were able to watch in the first two games when it comes to controlling pace of play and really dictating out there, and how much of a concern is that for Dallas getting a piece of them? The talk was always this time of year, maybe the smaller guys like Quinn Hughes are less of a factor. Have you seen any of that at all, Mike?
No, I mean, look, you can't hit what you can't catch, and that's been the biggest thing. I mean, they obviously want to play him physical, Boldy, those guys. The hardest that Quinn's been hit in the series, he did it to himself by upending himself on the empty net goal the other day. That was scary. I mean, he slammed straight down into the lower boards, and it looked like he was hurt. Got up, and I heard him talking to. He hangs out with the trainers in the morning, and I heard him back there, so I think he's fine. That's been the hardest part. I think that pair has been just tremendous. I mean, they were bleeding chances at the end of the year. Quinn, was going to get time off. He didn't want time off. The sickness made him get time off. And Faber also really fought John Hines tooth and nail. He did not want to come out. He wanted to play 82 games, but they made them both sit. They were playing heavy minutes. Obviously, both were at the Olympics. And I just think that they look both reinvigorated here so far in the series. And I just think as Quinn gets his energy back, it's just going to continue to get better for him. I think he's been really good defending in this series. And Faber has been one of their best players on the ice.
Rupe Hintz's injury looms pretty large, too. He's supposed to be out until Game 4. Is that correct?
Well, I don't even know if he's skating. I mean,
really?
They're going day by day, but he's not here in Minnesota. And obviously, you could get him here quite easily. But everything that we're hearing, it's going to be hard for him to come back in this series. He had a setback that Glenn Gulletson admitted before the series started. So that is, I mean, to your point, Justin, I mean, that looms hard. And you know what it reminds me of is in 2023 when the Wild went into the series without Joel Eriksson Ek. I mean, they're very similar types of players. I think Rope is more skilled and can drive lines a little better, but he's invaluable to that team. Where Joel Eriksson Ek, that was a death knell going into that series. And Eriksson Ek so far in this series has definitely made his presence known, and he's been terrific. So it's been a huge loss for them. Obviously, Dallas still has plenty of really quality players, and Wyatt Johnson, Jason Robertson, these guys are having good series so far.
Mike, is there a sense somehow, some way, if someone can get an upper hand here and end this thing a little earlier, that you almost have to, because you know what's looming down the road with Colorado and maybe eventually Edmonton or Vegas, but like there's for a first round, if this thing goes, if it's a heavyweight fight and it goes, I don't know, what do they go now? 12 rounds, 15 rounds,
Yeah,
right?
rounds.
Is there going to be much left here?
No, I mean, you know what? It's a great point, Kipper, and it's one I thought coming into the series. I thought whoever got out of this round, it's going to be a battle of attrition on who could even be able to stand up to Colorado in the next round. And look, LA has done a quality job trying to make this thing a series and a couple 2-1 games, but the reality is that Colorado still won them. So it looks like that could be a short series, and they're going to get a lot of rest. And these two teams here in Dallas and Minnesota are just going to beat the heck out of each other. There's a lot of venom between these two teams. They don't like each other. You just should hear the way they talk about each other in the locker room when the cameras are off, especially from Minnesota's standpoint toward them. So I do think this thing is just going to continue to be fast, physical, and whoever comes out of it's probably going to be the underdog going into the next round. So to your point, I mean, look, the Wild, they had a chance to make this 2-0, didn't do it. It is important, if from their standpoint, to try to take advantage here of being here at home, where they've been really, they've been good, especially against Dallas this year. And I think that they're going to try to do that starting tonight.
Russo, you are a well-connected guy around the NHL, and we have you in our Leafs hour right now. So I got to ask you a quick question. There's a GM search happening up here. We're hearing all kinds of names: Scott White, Evan Gold, Ryan Martin, John Chayka. What are your thoughts on where the Leafs search is at?
Well, it was funny because Monday I saw Scott White and Jim Nill just sitting in the stands at the morning skate, and I felt like going up there and trying to be like, aren't you supposed to be in Toronto? But it sounds like he actually went there the next day, and so I'll be looking for Scott White in the press box here at
Please do.
Arena tonight. Yeah. But I mean, I think that he's, look, his reputation is starting to be on the rise here in the National Hockey League, and you just feel like it's just a matter of time before he gets a GM job. I thought it would have been a fun thing, and maybe Mike Gillis has a shot there to see if I date back, knowing Mike, back to when he was Pavel Bure's agent in the late '90s and covering that Florida and Vancouver blockbuster, and I'd love to see him back in the GM's chair, and obviously we know about Chayka and Gold and those guys. I'm more interested in to see what happens in Vancouver. That just seems like an absolute zoo right now on how they're going to do that search. And then, Nashville, it just seems like they're certainly taking their sweet time. It'd be cool to see if their first ever captain in franchise history becomes a GM there in Tom Fitzgerald. We'll see.
Yeah, I was going to lean you towards Vancouver. Patrick Alvin, we know, is out, and there has been a link to Bill Guerin in their history in Pittsburgh. Is there any thought about Bill Guerin bringing anybody in like Patrick and alleviating some of his responsibilities moving forward?
Well, that's the weird rumor on that one is that for a while, they've been talking up there like he would, if he got fired, he would come here as director of amateur scouting. I just have trouble believing that a guy that just was in the GM's chair is going to take a step back in terms of role from that. I agree that that's probably his biggest cup of tea, and I think that obviously when things settle down here, that maybe Bill Guerin will have a conversation to him, maybe talk to him about an advisor or something like that. But right now, I think their eyes are just, frankly, on the playoffs, and we'll see what happens if as far as GM up there. I mean, I feel like Kevin Adams has been sort of vindicated with with how well Buffalo's doing, and I covered Ryan Johnson in Florida as a player. I love the guy. And that'd be a really cool thing if he got an upgrade. But in terms of Alvin here, look, I think that when the dust settles, the Wild would actually obviously talk to him. But I can't imagine that right now he'd want to come in as some sort of scout. I mean, maybe eventually that's something that if he can't find another job. But right now, I would assume that there's going to be conversations at some point if he doesn't look to move on in another organization in a sort of a bigger role, potentially GM somewhere.
What do you think of the sort of evolution of some of the names involved? Like, up here they talked about a data-centric guy. Sonny Maeda just got hired. Do you think that's a trend? Is that something lasting, or is that just sort of a one-off this summer?
No, I think it is. I think it's, look, this is a new world. I was out at that Halo conference in Denver and listening to some of the conversations out there with the analytics people. And there's just a lot of very, very smart people in the game. And, I kind of wonder how the heck things were done back when I first started covering the league in the 90s. And this stuff really didn't exist. And, Sonny Meta has been a rising star in Florida for some time. I know the respect level that Bill Zito has for him. I talked with him briefly in the press box last year, covering the Stanley Cup final there. And you just felt like this was something that he wanted to do. And I just love the fact that he's going back to New Jersey. I have a lot of respect for him and guys like Travis Green and people like that too, because I'm a big poker fanatic. And, I still watch some of those old World Series of Pokers, and there you see Travis Green sit at a table, at the old Binions, I think it was, or maybe at the Rio. Sonny Meta is somebody that I'm just fascinated by, because all I do on my free time is just watch poker clips. So I think it's pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Mike, great stuff as always. Enjoy Game 3. Thanks for doing this.
Yeah, see you guys. Take care.
Yeah, thanks for your time. Appreciate it.
Mike Russo, NHL writer for The Athletic, covering the Minnesota Wild and the Dallas Stars.
Poker clips rock. I love poker clips. My whole YouTube algorithm is just like best beats or best.
Really?
Oh, yeah, I love it. I love it. Yeah. I think it's cool.
Right.
Big money on the line. Big decisions.
Yeah.
Heartbreak.
I did used to watch it.
Oh, I still watch it.
Tom Fitz, you mentioned in Nashville. I think that's front runner there.
It's hard to say right now. I think my spidey senses is that first captain in Nashville Predator history.
Mm-hmm.
Probably doing him a favor coming in.
Doesn't hurt.
Doesn't hurt. Let's have a listen. But I don't know. I mean, you mentioned it, and I don't know if we can put Chaika in this or Fitzy, but like there has to be something to be said of, how'd it go in Nashville, right?
Yeah.
How'd it go in Arizona before you left there? And it's okay. Like, what are you trying to accomplish here?
Mm-hmm.
Like, does it matter if is it about new ideas moving forward, or do you get to look back at what these guys did and go, well, that didn't work, that worked, that didn't work, that didn't work?
That's kind of
is it important?
Like everyone likes
is
Brad
it
Treliving,
important,
including myself. But it's really tough to look at the last two jobs and go, that's the guy we need.
Yeah. And I don't know. I mean, can you talk a good game? Can you convince somebody that I've learned from some of the things that didn't go well for me, and I'll be better now. I'll be stronger in this area, and I'm going to put an amazing team together. Is that enough for an ownership group to say, you're our guy?
Yeah, I mean,
and Fitzy, let's face it, like he's a name. He's a name.
Got some.
He can talk. He can work. He knows media. He's an experienced guy in that capacity. He just didn't have much success in New Jersey.
Yeah. A lot of the New Jersey thing has been injuries, right? They've just picked kind of guys. They're smaller. Some of their best guys have had injuries, and it hasn't panned out.
Bad night at the steakhouse.
I think there are some times where you just get bad luck in a place. And I actually think you talk about poker, coming to Toronto when Tree did, you kind of were holding a 2-7 offsuit. That was a tough start.
It wasn't a great start.
You had a couple aces up your sleeve, though.
You did have
Don't tell me he didn't.
Right.
He didn't go in with
Flop was generous.
He didn't go into a poker game just wearing a boxer shorts.
I think it was you probably got dealt ace king pre-flop, and then it was like 2-4-7.
That's a much better analogy.
It's like you look at the whole.
I'm holding good cards, but it doesn't look good.
And then it kind of the flop didn't kind of hit air on the flop.
That's a much better analogy.
Yeah. So.
Not that we needed to make one at all.
I know there's a trend going right now, and it started in really like officially with Sonny in New Jersey, and it looks like Toronto may be following that course of action where we're not going to get the shiniest object out there that's going to appease fans because it's the biggest name out there.
Yeah.
that we're going to go in a different direction.
I heard they're interviewing Phil Ivey for GM of the Leafs this week. He's going to be the next guy.
Tom Dwan.
Get some poker guys.
I can. How many dudes you want? I can.
Let's name a guy.
I
Poker guy.
got a
Go
lot.
Back to
I got a lot.
Chris Moneymaker and Phil Hellmuth.
Yeah.
Those dudes.
Freddie Deeb. I can go all day.
Yeah. All right. So those are the openings they're waiting to fill. Fitz a front runner in Nashville, Vancouver.
Yeah.
Very TBD.
And then people in Nashville are wondering the same thing as Toronto fans are. Is like, could they put a president there and then someone else in GM?
Well, what's Trotz's?
He's gone.
He's
He's
gone.
just-
He's just gone. Okay. He's not
Had enough.
He's gone. Okay.
He's gone.
He's gone. That's
He
fine.
gone. Here you go.
Yeah.
Right.
So they typically have had
I
people
think
that
teams
have
are
been
starting to
blasted there.
stream it a little bit.
Yeah, I am curious how much of this is what we're talking about before
Right,
the
and these-
appearance of due diligence.
These assistant GMs right now, they're going to come by and they're going to take whatever you offer them.
Well, that's
Mill 2, Mill 5. It's not Brendan Shanahan 6 large sheets.
but this is kind of what's bothersome to me, I guess, with the Leaf search, because if they're looking for cheap, I'll do it. But I'd rather there was someone they were desperate to get that was going to cost a lot, that they're going, well, we don't want to do it. It costs a lot, but this guy's been here, been there, done this, done that. We got to have him. In the meantime, while we're cheap, I'm in the mix.
They've gone the other way though too.
Yeah.
With Brian Burke and Brendan Shanahan.
How much money?
No biggest example than Babcock, Lou Lamoriello.
But they had to have made money over those years. The team was good. They sold out buildings. They had playoff games.
And they'll still make money.
Well, yeah,
They'll still make
but
money.
they want to make money. That's just something.
Our thanks to Mike Russo. Coming up next, Kevin Bieksa. Wow.
In studio.
In studio,
The
KB.
star of Hockey Night in Canada. Up next, live in studio. And we'll have him back for free each in plenty of time, right?
Yeah, I don't know, maybe.
Okay, plenty more as we go national next on the Real Kyper and Bourne Show. Do not touch any buttons, any dials. Oh, you're in for a treat on our national show today. The Kypreos, Justin Bourne. We are live on Sportsnet. Sportsnet 650 in Vancouver, 960 in Calgary, and streaming always on Sportsnet Plus. If you can't catch us live, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube, where we're going to give Kevin Bieksa a big thumbs up here. We do YouTube and great chats, but the thumbs up, tons coming your way.
YouTubers.
I didn't think your generation did that, Kyper.
Oh, yeah, buddy. I can suck up with the best of them. Kevin Bieksa from Hockey Night in Canada doing a terrific job with the crew. We're just getting started. Happy to have him in studio. This hour of Real Kyper Bourne brought to you by Bet365. Kev, how are you, my friend?
Good.
Well rested, tanned, and man, you look good. You look good.
Weather's good. You see right now with the Jays game, weather's good in California. Yeah. It's been hot for a while. I've been in the sun a lot of dog walks, so I do have a tan.
So you've done this routine. I went through it when I was with Hockey Night in Canada. It's a grind, right? But you're in shape. You find some golf games in between. But how do you start it? How do you feel by the end of it?
You start it with just tunnel vision because it's every night. First round's chaos. There's 3-4 games at a time. I'm living in a hotel. I'm a walk away, so it's a Groundhog Day. So studio, work the games, go back. Try not to order late night, DoorDash and bad food for you. Wake up in the morning, coffee, oatmeal, right to the gym, and then you got an hour or two to kill before you're right back at the studio. You're immersed in it.
Yeah, you're not focusing on any particular series. Obviously, just the Canadian teams being the focus.
Yeah, Canadian series are definitely the focus, but we're still doing a lot of US games like the Utah Vegas last night. So the Canadians obviously are important, but yeah, that's the thing. Like even if we're not covering a series, you have to be aware of what's going on because there is going to be a winner and potentially they're going to play a Canadian team next round. So even though you're not we haven't worked the Minnesota-Dallas series really yet, but you're still kind of aware of what's going on.
We're going to dive right into all of it, Kev. And once again, appreciate you coming in. But before we get started, it does feel a little different for many Canadian fans, and not to take away anything out of Montreal and Edmonton and Ottawa, but two of the biggest markets, Toronto and Vancouver, on the sidelines. Got to get your thoughts a little bit on what they're both going through as they search for their general managers. And that market exceptionally well in Vancouver. You've watched it closely here, broadcasting here. But just your overall thoughts on the process and how both organizations can kind of turn this thing around.
For us, first of all, weird being here in Toronto and not having the Leafs in the first round. Like walking to the studio, walking around the city during the day, you feel the buzz when the Leafs are in the first round, and it's really cool. So that's been a little bit different, challenging. I missed the playoffs, I believe, unofficially 3 times. The first year I was only there for half the year. It wasn't my fault. I had my guy the whole time. So I don't really count that. So like 2 times in my career, and they were spaced out. And after each time missing it, there was a ton of pain. There was a lot of pain, and there's a lot of pissed off energy going into the summer, and that fuels you. So you hope that it doesn't happen. Like, especially for the Leafs, you hope it's a one-off, and they can somehow retool, rebuild on the fly. And then Vancouver, like, how do they take that next step? How do they take it's got to be a huge step to contend for a playoff spot, but how do you contend, or how do you take a big step next year and be a team that people take serious?
As a player, would you have cared who a team hires as a GM? I guess, obviously, who they hire may affect if they like you or not, so you care. But as the process would be going on, would you have any thoughts on it? Also, I know that you would have been in Vancouver and Gillis was there, so curious to know your thoughts on him. But I guess, first off, would you care as a player who the team was talking to or going to choose?
Like, you'd have to be, I don't know what you think, you'd have to be an older veteran guy to really care who the GM is. Yeah. Most of the time you're a player and you're not even thinking about that. You don't really understand how that all even works. Like, as a young guy, when Gillis came in for Nonis, I had Nonis for the first few years of my career. And then Gillis came in, and like, I didn't know what he was qualified at. I didn't even know. I knew he was an agent before, but I didn't even really know what Nonis was doing or qualified, other than, the obvious, like picking the team and at the draft. So I don't think many players are concerned with that, to be honest.
It depends how involved you are in terms of what's going on around you. Some guys are oblivious, man. They just stay in their own little tunnel
And
vision.
I bet some teams love guys like that. You need some guys who just play hockey.
Good soldiers.
In this instance, with a lot of assistant general managers no one's ever heard about, they don't know if it's going to be like Brian Burke coming in and it's like truculence. Well, I know if I'm a truculent player or not, and if it favors me or not, but it wouldn't be as noticeable or as obvious to other guys when you're hearing names you've never heard of before.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that's why I don't think that the players are too invested in it. Like, obviously, everyone's looking at it from their own standpoint. Like, how is this guy going to affect me? Does he like me? Does he know my agent? Like, how does that all work?
All right, so let's go there. Mike Gillis, you know him. How would it affect him here in Toronto?
I'm an advocate of Mike Gill. I think he'd be great.
Yeah.
I saw it
Hey, your
firsthand.
teams were good.
Our teams were good, but when he came in, just willing to learn, willing to look for any competitive advantage. You know, we were ahead of the curve in sports science.
Sleep doctors.
We were going over. We were getting sleep doctors. We were hiring people from AC Milan and Italy and bringing them over to implement protocols on the art machine. We're one of the first teams to do that. You know, looking at our schedule, like really fighting the schedule makers on the nights that, you know, we had back-to-backs on the road and how many of those and what time zones they were in. Like, meticulously, he would look at every single disadvantage and look for, you know, how we can reverse that.
Yeah.
So I think that's kind of like what the Leafs are asking for, right?
Yeah.
Like, know about analytics, know about that, and know how to analyze it.
Yeah. So as you got older in your career, I'm sure you found yourself in the coach's office more. Like, you just have more of a relationship. It's more of a connectedness with that leadership. But that, to me, kind of ends at the coach. Like, you wouldn't have interacted with a GM. How often is a GM around for a...
Every GM's different.
Yeah.
Some GMs like to be around a little bit more. I feel weird saying I've been out for dinner with the GMs before.
Like, during the season,
Yeah.
your GM. Yeah. But I don't
yeah.
think that's bad, is it? Like, the
No.
team leader would be...
No, and my wife was kind of, you know, the leader amongst the wives, like handling all the charity endeavors and everything. So she was kind of the head of that role. So that was also part of it. When a new coach or a GM comes in and their wife wants to get acclimated to the city and the organization. So, but no, like it's rare. It's very, very, very rare. I think 95% of the players
Like,
would not have
we-
any interaction with them at all.
We didn't have any. No.
Well, you didn't talk to the coach. I mean, I remember...
It was more so, yeah, but like, general managers today have to be careful that they don't step on their coach's toes too, right?
What do you mean by that?
I mean,
Just being in the room telling guys things that maybe the
there,
coach
there,
doesn't
there
want
has to
them
be a level, there has to be a protocol. It's got to kind of fall
There
in
can't
the
be
proper
like
order.
the coach is like, okay, you're on the third line because you're not giving me this, and you're not on the power play for now. And then the GM's like, you should be on the power play.
Yeah.
You should be on the second line. Yeah, that's I think what you're saying.
Yes.
And
Mixed
no, there's
messages.
some
I didn't know you
interesting-
told them that.
interesting GMs. Like I didn't really love going into Bob Murray's office in Anaheim just because you never knew what was going to happen. It could be just an absolute lashing, right? Or it could be something not a big deal. So like whenever, you know, one of the trainers would say, hey, you got Murph wants to talk to you. I'm like, oh my God, here we go. Hopefully it's about somebody else.
My 1 year in Hartford, I was having a pretty good year, and Paul Holmgren was the general manager at the time. He pulled me over in the hallway of the hotel, and he's like, yeah, I'm thinking about trading Steve Conroy, and I'm thinking about getting this guy. And I'm like,
oh yeah,
that's great.
Cool.
And why are you telling me this?
I mean, I would love it. Like, I'd want that.
I don't
info.
know why you're telling me this,
Yeah.
but okay.
That's funny. So,
Um,
yeah. So let's take it to the NHL playoffs and these Canadian teams right now. So, Montreal Canadiens lose a tough one against Tampa Bay. Top line hasn't scored. Slaff's been awesome, right? Game one. I do want to get your take though on the Hagel fight. Whether you thought like it from Slaff, like it from Hagel, like the celebration from Hagel or not, where you thought it fell into the whole scheme of the series.
So lots going on there. I could talk about these kind of things all day long. I wish I had my own
M2, I'll
radio
just get out
show.
of the way.
Well, so where do you want to focus on? Like from Hagel's perspective, yeah, you love the fight from Hagel. I wasn't a big celebration guy, and I don't know how you are with that. I always
the
felt
playing up
like
the crowd you're talking about?
I'm talking about after a fight.
Yeah.
After a fight, I
Yeah.
can't, and somebody can prove me wrong if they can find it. I don't ever remember celebrating after a fight because there has to be a respect and humility that because the next fight you could be knocked out.
Right.
Like we're talking about bare knuckles fighting. Like One guy could hit you the next fight with a shot, and you could be out cold. So I was always very careful to celebrate. That being said, he's at home. He's trying to get the crowd going.
Well, okay.
The one that you're not big enough for me. I don't know. I mean, I don't hate it, but I wouldn't personally do it.
That's exactly what I said in the first hour. And it's like, so you're feeling like the crowd's not into it. You got to rally them up. You're rallying your teammates up. But at some point, to your point, like it's a dangerous game here, right? It could, the momentum can turn in an instant. He's not the biggest, strongest guy. Like someone's taking a number on Hagel.
Well, he's making it personal by doing a comment at Slafkovsky rather than look at your bench and get your bench going. Yeah. Get the crowd going. When he did that earlier in the scrum, when he went to the crowd, I wouldn't do it, but I'm okay with that. Like, I get it.
Isn't that like you'd rather, if you're doing the whole personal thing and it's someone who can beat you up or will fight you again or is going to chase you, maybe not a great idea, but like Slav's not going to go at him again. Like,
well, that's why it's like I didn't like it. Like if you beat up Ryan Reeves and you want to do that and you want to pat yourself on the back, but you just got like a young kid to take a fight with you, and even though Slafkovsky's bigger, it's a bit of a mismatch, right? And Hagel's.
What do you mean? You think in Hagel's favor?
In Hagel's favor. Oh yeah.
He was 21 years old. Like
Borny,
2 weeks
did you
ago.
see Slafkovsky throwing his punches? Like he was like a giraffe. He was, you know what I mean? Like all full marks.
I know.
I don't care about size. What do you think? Me against Slafkovsky. What do you think? That's a mismatch?
He's
He's way bigger than me.
Yeah. Okay.
Like I just think Hagel knows how to fight.
Give him another 2 years,
Yeah.
and you're not going to take that fight. And that's if Slafkovsky wants to go down that path. I think he may have more of this in him, and it's just, and we've been through it as a kid coming in out of it through college or junior. If you're going to want to have that card to play, you got to get better at it. And he seems to me like he's a bit of a gamer.
Well, that's the thing. He doesn't seem afraid. Like Matthew Nyes has been in 2 fights in the NHL and overpowered both guys pretty handily. But he doesn't want to do it.
No. But you do it once in a while just for space. My son was in
people.
3 fights this year in junior, and I saw him get better every one. First one, took a beating from a 20-year-old. Second one, better. Third one, more comfortable with where to grab and how to handle himself. But I think Slafkovsky wants to watch your kid fight. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It sucks. Yeah. I'd rather be in the fight getting punched. But then, like, after a while, you tell yourself, he's a hockey player. Like, take your lumps, learn how to fight.
More celebrations after a goal, please.
Yeah.
Right?
No sellies. But I think Slafkovsky, I was okay with the fight. I was okay with him taking it because it's game 2 at, I think it was like 13:50 of the second period in a 1-1 game.
Yeah.
That's the time to make your stand and say, okay, I won't be pushed around, and it'll pay off later. Yeah. But he's got to win some of these fights eventually.
Got to ask you about Sabrin and the hit on Anderson. All of it. We heard you guys talking and debating about it. I hated the hit from a Montreal Canadian point of view. I thought it was dirty. I thought it was one of those where could easily have separated his shoulder and taken him out of the game. I would have gone squirrely on that.
You
hit.
and I would have both thrown that hit, though.
No,
He also you didn't hate having Sabrin.
You might not be wrong. I've hit a few people like that.
I played with
I've
Sabrin for a
regretted
short time. I think he understands his role. I think he understands he went over. Coop loves him, and he says everyone plays a little bit bigger when he's in the lineup. He just has to find out where I know what it's like to be on both sides of that, to be the guy who's really wants to get someone to fight him and the guy who's having Ben Eager chase me around trying to fight me. And I'm like, okay, bud, like, leave me alone. You're not good enough to fight. So for him, he's got to go about this differently. Like, he asked Anderson to fight originally. Anderson says no, which he should say no. And then he's just like beaking at him, barking at him. And the referee is just staring at him the whole time, like just waiting to give him an extra penalty. What he has to do is forget about Anderson and go run somebody and make Anderson come back to him.
That's always been your thing
That's the Mark Messier. Boys, why are we wasting our energy on those guys? Let's go get someone else, and then he takes out Mike
Did you hear
Modano.
the Hordichuk story I told quickly last night? It was really quick. So Darcy Hordichuk was, when he was at Vancouver, he was our heavyweight. And we didn't really have a heavyweight for a few years before. So his thing, he had all these games within the games. When, like, him and Kypreos had like their own side game going on whenever we'd play them. They'd fight 3 times. They were doing their own thing no matter what the game. So he would sometimes line up if we were winning 1 or 2-0, and the other team's tough guy would say Kypreos would say, "Hey, Hordy, let's go." And he's like, "I can't fight you right now because we're up, but tell you what, go run Bieksa or the Sedins, and then I'll have like an excuse to fight you."
Come on.
So he told me that once at dinner. I'm like, You idiot. So you're putting a target now. Like, you're supposed to be protecting us, and you're telling the tough guy to go run us just so you feel justified to the coaches fighting this guy.
This has been my beef a little bit with some of these guys who, in seeking to make themselves relevant, they want to bring the game in that direction where it's not relevant. Where, and I understand in the postseason, like Sabrin, Anderson was a guy who was bothering them. He's got a role there. He's he's in there for Anderson. But sometimes it's ridiculous.
So as you see Kucherov in the first 2 periods, he was consumed by this whole game within the game. And he was taking runs at Anderson from behind and slashing a stick out of his hand. And some guys, like you said, some guys I don't want to have anything to do with that. Like the Sedins were never a part of any of the shenanigans with Chicago or San Jose. Like I want my skill guys to be above that and not like put fuel on the fire, so to speak, and make plays and play. And Kucherov wasn't doing that for 2 periods until he finally got it together and scored.
When in Washington, Peter Bonder showed up, and a talented guy, my gosh, and he's like, "Hey, that guy's bothering me. Go fight him." And I'm like, "No, you stop spearing him, or else he's."
You would say that too?
Yeah.
He would say, "Go get him."
Yeah, and I'm like, no, that's not the way it's going to work. You're going to stop spearing guys, or else you're going to go and fight them yourself.
Yeah. Don't pick fights for me.
So I had a similar story. Michael Samuelsson, remember him? Swede, good player. He was in Detroit, then he came over to us, and he would say to me before the first time we played Detroit, he's like, can you go have a word with Cronwell and the warm-up? And I go, why? He goes, like he's going to hurt somebody with one of those hits, right?
Yes.
Go threaten him. He's kind of scared of you. He thinks you're crazy. Yeah. So I went up to Cronwell at the first time we played them with Samuels on the team. I go, hey, I love the way you hit. I go, not tonight. I go, if you hit someone tonight, I'm taking a suspension on you and I will hurt you. I'll hurt you badly. Yeah. Just don't do it for one night. Do it tomorrow night. Yeah. And then so every night, every time we played Detroit, it worked. Yeah. And every time we played Detroit, I just skate by Cronwell and warm up like, remember that conversation, right? He goes, I know, nothing tonight.
Is that right?
Yeah, but he did get one of my teammates one time.
Yeah.
He got him once.
So, I am curious. Go ahead, Kim. No. I am curious because, I never thought of you as a fighter. You weren't a pure fighter. You were a defenseman. But there are guys who, their role is more fight heavy. As those guys get older in their career, we've seen Toronto try to bring some of those guys here. Reeves was one of them, but Wayne Simmons fought a bit, but he was a hockey player. But he came here and everyone's like, all right, he's going to fight. He's going to stand up for people. It feels like towards the end of guys' career, they don't want to do it. Like, it's still a part of the game. People know you can do it, but, they don't really want to do it, which is why I was happy when Toronto got Pizzetta. I thought he was someone early enough in his career.
You need a young guy.
Yeah.
And you need a guy that can skate. You need a guy who can skate and be physical to get the fight.
They just didn't think.
If you're old and big, if you're old, big, tough, but can't really play, not a lot of guys are going to say yes to you. Right. Like, you have to be relevant enough to be a good skater. And I think you're right. I think you have to be probably a little bit on the younger side and have something else besides just the fighting to actually get the fights.
Do you think there's less players that want to do that now, to have that as an element of the game? Like you see Porter Martone, everyone immediately loves him because he's got some pest to his game and there's not a ton of pestiness out there. Yeah. But it just feels like that's going to become the new skill. Everyone's skilled now. And having a bit of a edge to your game is more of a commodity now.
Yeah, that's fair to say.
I don't know.
I just think I remember before being when 2007 when the Ducks won the Stanley Cup, they were by far the toughest team in the league. And I remember being scared if we got, not scared because I'm a Warrior, but I remember being concerned for my teammates when we got up 2 or 3-0. I'm like, oh boy, we get up 2 or 3-0. Brad May's running around, Sean Thornton, Perros. Yeah.
They don't want to finish the game on the bench.
Travis Moan, take your Perros, take your pick. They're going to run around, Getsy and Perry, and they're going to turn this into a street fight. Mm-hmm. That doesn't happen anymore because I don't understand. I don't think kids understand that is useful at times, right? Rather than just going out there and just trying to make plays. When
we're down 5-1. We'll just skate around until next.
So if there's some kids that actually understand, okay, there's a time to run around and be physical when you're down. That's a commodity for sure.
3 games on tap. Kevin Bieksa and company on Hockey Night in Canada, ready to cover them all. So we'll start from 10 p.m. Eastern, Edmonton and Anaheim. Bit of a scare, bit of a wake-up call. How'd you see Game 1, and where do you see Game 2 tonight in Oil County?
I said before, Connor did interviews before that series, and he said all the right things. He's like, we have to respect this Ducks team and blah, blah, blah. And he actually gave some examples. He talked about some of their players, their young kids. But I kind of didn't believe him, And then after that game, I think they're going to relook their approach there. There's got to be some respect because you saw the second period when the speed and the skill. Carlson beating guys wide, and he's 6'3", and he just bulldozed. Unbelievable player. Gauthier was quiet, but he'll be better tonight. McTavish was good. Seneke looked really good for a 20-year-old. Just ton of confidence and beating guys and making plays. They can't outscore the Ducks. Like, they have to play it a little bit tighter. Their power play didn't look great in Edmonton, but it'll be better tonight. Yep. But I wouldn't be surprised. Like, I think people are taking the Oilers in 5 or 6. This will go to 7, I think. I really think it will. Yeah, I really think the Ducks have just hung around all year, and I think Dostal's one of the scariest goalies in the playoffs.
And Quenneville's been through it and has some idea how to make adjustments and all that. I want to make sure we touch on the other Canadian team, Ottawa, down 2-0, but have played really well. You know, Carolina's a tough team to get ahead on, and Ullmark's been good. So for them, it's like, what else can they do?
Just a bounce?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they got that lucky bounce in the one goal. That's the thing.
Yeah.
To get it to 2-2. Ullmark playing well, though, it gives you confidence. Yeah. You just kind of rely on the old adage that, you know, you're never out of it till you lose on home ice. So they go back and they win the next game on home ice. And you know what it's like. You score a couple goals, and then it starts to snowball, and you start feeling good. Their power play has been so good all year, and it's given them nothing in the playoffs. So that's tough. Yeah. You get what power play goal, you start getting a little bit comfortable and making some more plays. And that series is not.
And just that Rod Brindamore factor, eh? Yeah. Like,
they've played the same way for a lot of years here.
So they seem like they're a little bit chippier this year. Seems like they have some more sandpaper this year.
Well, so we talked about fights and starting it off. Your thoughts on Stahl accepting the Brady Tkachuk offer to start the series?
Yeah, so great. It looked like, I don't know who asked who. It looked like Stahl may have asked Brady.
Oh, really?
I don't know. I looking at it, it looked like Brady was like, shocked. Okay. Well, I think, no, but I thought it was more important to Carolina. So that's why I think maybe Stahl would have asked for that. Because I don't feel like Brady's tougher than Stahl, fighting-wise. Right. I feel like Stahl wanted to make a statement to his team. Hey, like, we got pushed around by Florida the last 2 years. We're different this year. Yeah. I feel like that was a statement by Stahl. It was good. It was an even fight.
Yeah, I like that one too.
Just quickly, things get started at 6:30 tonight, pregame, and you guys got Philly and Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh being down. It was they kind of cruised in a little bit. We had Mike Russo talk about the Dallas Stars kind of cruising in and lost game 1 bad. They were resting a few guys. Philly came in right at the last minute. They seamlessly went into playoff mode. Pittsburgh's slow out of the gate here. What do you see tonight?
I don't know. Philly just looks younger, faster, hungrier. But you can't count out the guys who've been in the league for 20 years and have won 3 cups. Yeah. So you think, is this just going to be an unbelievable clutch effort by Pittsburgh tonight, I think.
Yeah. And then so you guys are also, this is your first Dallas, Minnesota coverage tonight?
No, we're just Edmonton tonight. And you know what's funny? Like, you mentioned the pregame at 6:30 Eastern. 7:30 Mountain. We put all this work into the pregame. We have meetings. Meeting after meeting, and then it feels like no one watches the pregame. So tune into the pregame.
That's right.
Right? That's where I use all my good stuff.
Yeah, that's so true.
And I'm like, why am I using this in the pregame when no one's listening? Like, I might as well save it for the first intermission. We do like good, cool breakdowns and stuff. No one ever sees it.
I see it.
You do?
We're there for you.
Thank you.
We should let him go to
Elliot's okay. You guys good?
We're good. Yeah, no, Elliot's good. You know what? It's funny. Berkey texted me last week, and he said, Berkey loves giving me his feedback on the show, which I love hearing. Yeah. And he goes, you're getting sucked in too much. And I go, what do you mean? He goes, you and Elliot, the back and forth, it's too much. Talk hockey first. And he goes, he sucks you in. And I'm like thinking, like, thank you. Like, I think I'm the instigator most of the time, but Berkey's like thinks I'm the victim.
Berkey can produce. He can do a lot.
Do it all.
Try not to get sucked in.
All right, we're going to let you go, pal. But thanks for joining us. Really appreciate stopping by, and all the best moving forward. We'll get you back in here soon.
And on the course.
I was on the course. We'll make that happen soon.
Okay. Thanks, guys.
Kevin Bieksa, everybody. Hockey Night in Canada. Just quick thought on Pittsburgh. Are they cooked here? Like, they're going into Philly. They're down 2-0. Power play is over. And it was one of the best power plays all season long. I think it finished top 10.
This is the first must-win of the playoffs, right? They lost both games on home ice. You're going into Philly. Can't go down 3-0. I just believe we're getting a Crosby game tonight. I know in the or are we about to do game time? Is that we're getting there, Sammy? I'm gonna need a Sidney Crosby anytime goal of some variety if we're gonna do
I might get a standing desk, like what's the guy?
one that you can move up and down.
Like
for
McAfee,
fitness.
just be standing the whole time. What a
Wear a
downgrade!
tank
That was
top.
fantastic, guys.
I mean,
That's
he's
fantastic.
Yeah, he's
What a downgrade.
love hockey talk with him.
You guys watching the Jays too?
tree.
Yeah, they've made their way back into it. Big spot for Fisher. Let's do game time. All right, let's find my sheets here. Let's get organized. Sorry, I was running back over.
You've done stuff ahead of time?
I always do stuff. Well, I do stuff ahead of time. Hey,
Wow.
it's game time. Presented by Bet365, an official partner of the NHL. Must be 19 plus. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. So 3 games on tap here. I wrote 4. Sorry, Kyper. I'm bad at this. Like you guys mentioned, the Pittsburgh Penguins, the must-win game.
Mm-hmm.
I would say I'm surprised by the money line. I think they think it's a must-win game, but I don't know if Bet365 necessarily believes in the Penguins. Flyers still minus 115 on the money line. Penguins minus 105. You're looking for a Sidney Crosby anytime? That is plus 185 on the money line. He is the favorite in this game to score a hockey goal.
Yeah.
So if you believe that Porter Martone has more to give, he is the second favorite on here.
Wow.
For plus 190. If you think Sid's going to have a big impact on this game, you could bet him as the first goal scorer in the game at plus 1100. Sorry, Jays.
Jeez.
Pain. Jays
That
pain.
didn't-
Later on tonight, Edmonton in taking on the Ducks. That'll be on Sportsnet, CBC Hockey Night in Canada. Plus 160, the Ducks in Edmonton. Big underdog still there. Minus 190 on the money line.
I will say, Bieksa just said that he thinks that series is going to go 7. If you bet on the Ducks a few times and hit, that's a nice little return.
They gotta win tonight if they're gonna go
yeah.
6 or 7. So, anyways, that was game time presented by Bet365, an official partner of the NHL. Must be 19 plus. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. I just proved why I could never. Well, there's lots of reasons I could never do play-by-play, but I would be the worst homer ever.
He's just making sound effects. Oh,
Like
base
that,
hit.
what was the guy in Chicago? The White Sox guy? Yes.
No.
Oh, Harry Carey?
Cubs.
No,
Harry.
the White Sox. I know Harry Carey.
Okay, then who are you talking about?
The guy that used to do it for the White Sox. That would be like,
Oh, I
get
don't
up,
know
Bo.
White Sox.
Yes. Yes.
Well, I don't know. Buck did his share of get up, get out.
Hawk Harrelson.
Sounds right.
Maybe that sounds right.
Sounds
Anyways, if you're bored after our show, listen to his call of Adam Dunn's walk-off home. Hell yes. It's one of the best all time. Anyways, that's been White Sox talk. Anyways, we go.
Okay, let's take a quick break. When we return, some sights and sounds out of Buffalo, the Boston Bruins. Could they actually be up 2-0 going back to Boston?
Could, but aren't.
But they'll take 1-1 right now. We'll get some of those Kippers Clippers out of Buffalo as that series shifts over to Beantown. That and more when we return to Real Kipper and Bourne.
Hey, it's Natasha.
Back in studio, Nick Kypreos, Justin Bourne, and Sammy McKee.
Sour about Jays. Okay. Time now for the Acura Performance Matchup, the 2026 Acura MDX, precisely premium. Oilers, Anaheim, big one tonight, game 2.
Mm-hmm.
Just a few stats heading into tonight.
What a matchup.
Draisaitl in game 1 tied Dennis Potvin, Jaromir Jagr, and Larry Robinson for 11th place on the NHL's all-time list for multi-assist playoff games with 26. Each of those players has skated at least 88 more postseason games than Draisaitl has played today.
Bonkers.
It's a crazy stat.
He is as deadly in the postseason as anyone in the league's history.
I was going to say he's simply one of the greatest leagues, or one of the best playoff players ever. So that's crazy to me. The Oilers own a series winning percentage of .857, 24-4 in best of 7 series that they take a 1-0 lead, which is the third highest. Only the Panthers, who have a .909, 10-1, and the Ducks, who have an .867 and 13-2. So good thing they won that one. And I know you don't care about history stuff because it has no bearing on anything.
Correct.
So I won't say that one. But Troy Terry had 3 points. Leo Carlson had 2 points, and Jackson Lacombe had a point. Each found the score sheet in game 1 and can join Paul Kariya, 3 games played as in 1997 as the only players in Ducks history to record a point in each of their first 2 career playoff games.
All my all-time favorite guys coming up today. Paul Kariya, all-time fave. Peter Bondra was an all-time fave. Joe Sakic, Mario Lemieux. All my guys.
Paul Kariya, I think, is, if you were going to answer the question of what player played in the wrong era and would dominate today's NHL, Paul Kariya might be the number 1 list.
Yeah, they couldn't put a leash on that guy.
He was still good then,
Yeah.
but it was just a different game. Anyways, that was the Acura Performance Matchup, the 2026 Acura MDX, precisely premium.
All right.
Paul Kariya getting rocked by, was it Scott Stevens?
Got him.
And doing the puff of breath into the visor when they thought he was dead, and then coming back and heating up a slapper into the top corner was an all-time moment.
Do you remember, he did an interview about that after, about how he remembered none of that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
that's terrible, and I'm sorry to hear that.
Really?
You guys didn't watch that interview? It was like, I don't know, probably in the last 10 years, he came out and he did an interview. Forget, maybe with somebody from here. I don't know where I saw it. But he said that he went off the ice and he just, after the hit, he has no recollection of anything that happened after that.
Kip, you've had concussions. Do you have missing parts of your career at all?
I'm sorry, who are you?
Where am I?
Where am I?
I thought the Jays game was tied.
Sometimes I wonder if it's my career or just old age.
Yeah, okay.
But I'm hanging in here.
Yeah, well, I know. I'm just.
What was the question again?
I got
You're still sharp as the old guy's still sharp as a tack.
sharp as a cue ball over here.
Before we get into last night's game between Boston and Buffalo, we had Andrew Peters on yesterday.
Did we ever?
And
Get him on again.
I don't know. I every once in a while I sneak on a chat or just see some messages, and it's like, I can't believe you guys gave him a platform to crap all over Kevin Adams, and it's like,
Gave him a platform.
we don't know.
We just
have
call
guests.
people and say, will you come on?
First of all, why do you think I'm so nervous when Doug McLean comes on every Friday?
Yeah.
Because we don't know.
Yeah.
We don't know.
The Buffalo Sabres were about to play a playoff game, and we've had him on multiple times to talk about the Buffalo Sabres.
He went hard on Kevin Adams.
Didn't think he was a good GM.
I mean,
which is it's an opinion show.
I don't know if it was a little bit more personal. Someone had mentioned to me that Kevin Adams was a president of Sabres junior hockey and Petey was a coach and suspended him or something. I don't know. I don't. But
love it.
I don't know.
We don't research the backstory.
We don't know.
Petey's. I said, hey, Petey, you want to come on? I said, would love to.
See you at 5:05.
He's a fun guest. He follows the Sabres. He's an ex-player. He's got a lot of insight.
Great spot. You're not allowed to have an opinion.
Maybe Petey got Kevin Adams an interview in Vancouver for all we know.
We don't know. What was the other? Because we put out 2 clips yesterday, and the other one was red hot too.
Valley not giving any credit to Allmark and.
Oh, that upset a few people.
Oh, the Sens. I mean, the Sens fans are particularly sensitive at the best of times, but right now, down 2-0 against the Canes, and they could have been in it. They are pretty sensitive about that clip. Yeah.
I said to Sam, forever we have all known that a goaltender who's making a lot of big dramatic saves is probably out of position. We like quiet goaltending, right? When Stolarz or Woll have been at his best, say, okay, very quiet, solid game. So for Valley to come on and say, yeah, Allmark's making big stops because he's diving all over the place, that's goaltending. I don't think he went on there I don't think he devalues the fact that he's kept the puck out of the net. He's just saying, technically, it's not been good.
Yeah. And really, that's his job to be as technical on
he's
a goalie.
Literal goalie analyst.
Right? It's like we don't have him on to be like, yeah, Allmark was good.
Like
we didn't get a fan on.
I can't believe there's another guy that could break down and articulate NHL goaltending better than Steve Alliquette right now on the planet.
No. Yeah, I did see a comment on the thing that was just like, where'd you get that hack? It's like half the league hires this guy to analyze their goaltending.
It's not suggesting that. I'm not saying that Valley knows more than the next guy or whoever's a coach.
What are you talking about? Yes,
I'm just saying that there are probably a few out there that feel like they're pretty darn good too. But I'm just saying for him to be able to know what he knows and articulate it well, it is very informative.
It's amazing. We're grateful for it, and I thought it was great.
Any more? I mean, we mentioned it a little bit in our first hour. I mean, any more? I mean, for the Vancouver, I guess maybe just about Shane Doan and thoughts of him going there. Freed reported that they asked at least for permission. I think we said maybe. Go ahead.
Yeah. Again, I mean, for me personally, is Shane Doan ready for this?
Yeah.
That's the only question I'll have.
Okay.
Yeah, and it doesn't seem to me like he's going to get that job. That's my 2 cents. I just feel like he is a good name in hockey that someone would be lucky to have on their staff, but I don't think he's going to be the GM.
Okay. Speaking of goalies, there's one for the Buffalo Sabre, Ukko-Pekka, who...
Ukko what?
Ukko-Pekka?
Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ukko-Pekka is like first and middle name?
First and first name.
I think that's
okay.
I think Ukko-Pekka is his first name.
Okay, that's what I said.
Yeah.
I said.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay.
Say
now, does a shortstop need to be aggressive off the line?
Yeah, I think, at risk of taking a one-hopper, you want to charge the ball typically before it bounces or back off and play the next hop, perhaps.
That's like Toskala memories for you, Sam,
I actually think that was the worst one I've ever seen.
Last night?
Yeah. It didn't. Everyone's like, bad bounce. Kip, it bounced offline by a foot.
But like...
the worst one I've ever seen is...
Toskala was
a full ice.
Full ice.
No, that's the Dan Kluche one, isn't it?
Dan Kluche had one, but Toskala had one...
in the island.
On the Leafs when it was from like the other red line.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I
almost
think,
200 feet.
Could he see it the whole way? Did it bounce funny?
Yeah.
It took a couple
you
greasy
gotta go
bounces.
Revisit it.
I mean, I kind of remember some of these. I'm sure I'd see it.
It took a couple greasy bounces, but
this was a backhand too.
the worst one I think was I think it was in the Stanley Cup final. Marty Brodeur goes out to play a puck and he drops
his stick and then it goes through his
bounces
legs.
off his stick and bounces in. Like I don't know, goaltending's hard, man. I don't know.
I'm sorry. The Toskala one is worse.
Oh yeah. The Toskala one's full ice, bud.
Yeah.
It's barely moving.
Yeah.
It's full ice.
No.
At least won that game.
You need
Kadri hat trick.
Toskala had sweepers to make sure the puck actually got that.
Just lay down across the goal line. Just lay down. Anyway, but that was a dagger in the Buffalo game.
It's 1-0, right? And you're very
tough to come by.
You were very fortunate. I get it. It was a wonderful comeback and very emotional in game one, but you're not coming back this time of year 2-0 very often with under 10 minutes to go in the third period. The teams lock it down now.
Vezina finalist or likely Vezina finalist and Swayman. Goals are tough to come by. You just can't. I'm typically, I think, a very forgiving, like, that was just a terrible bounce, or how could you extend?
Can you go back to him in game 3?
They yanked him. Lyon had a great season too. I hate.
What would you do?
Do you want to hear the goal? Do you want to hear?
Show him I believe in him and put him back in.
We have Lindy Ruff, clip 2 on the Geeky goal. We can listen to what the coach thinks.
Lindy, the second goal, Geeky's goal from beyond center. What's your take on that, and how much concern do you have with Luke with UP after that goal?
It's a lucky goal. I think we've seen over the years. You see goals like that. Took a little bit of a hard right when it landed, and ends up going in. This team has been so good about we win together, we lose together. I'm not going to sit here and criticize that goal.
Yeah, good for him. It's too early in the series, and
So that
you can't lose guys. You
that
may
answer
need him.
seems to me that he's probably going to go back in.
Yeah, and I think that's one of those things where you almost have to make a statement and do it. You don't say the first time you disappointed us. I'm torn though because there's a reason you have a tandem, right? You've been a tandem all year.
I think you wait
I
till
may,
you're
I
trailing.
may go to Lion.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Right away?
Well,
You learned from Mike Keegan, bud.
yeah.
To go.
I just think it's early enough in the series that even if you lose, you can come back to them. And as long as it's painted in the picture of we're going to need both of you, we're not thinking about, like, we're thinking about going deep here, a long stretch where we're going to need both of you. I'm not pulling you because of that goal. I'm just making sure that
And
we
you know
get
what?
everybody involved.
If
Something of that nature, I think you can sell without losing him.
Well, and if they do that, there's a long history of NHL teams doing this. The Oilers last year went to Pickard for a bit, right? And then Skinner again in the final. But you've seen the Capitals won a cup with Grubauer and Holtby. You saw the Penguins with Fleury.
I didn't like the backhand
Murray.
goal either. You know, I
Blackhawks
think
did it too when they had
Miami.
Corey Crawford. When they had Corey Crawford, they went to Scott Darling for the first round.
Right.
Yeah, like it happens all the time.
You know, and goalies get hot. So, yeah, Kip, I'm with you.
I didn't like a lot of the goals I saw last night for him. I think he needs a break.
Yeah, and if not, it's just like it's playoffs. We don't have time to work through these issues. Just put in the other guy. Yeah, as you can tell, I'm clearly torn on it, but now you're talking me to Lion.
But can I present you the other side of it, that you stick with UPL and, you know, you stick with him and maybe he plays well, maybe he doesn't. And then if you lose this game, game 4 obviously becomes a must win. Then you go to the goalie bump of going to Lion in game 4 as opposed to, it just feels a little panicky.
Like if Lion's no good, and now you're like, both
oh
my
God,
goalies
yeah,
are on
both of them
tilts.
suck. I don't know. I just think
In
it's
Boston, tough
maybe
game.
one game too early to
By
pull
the way,
the goalie
this is
trigger.
literally what is happening in the coach's office.
You think?
People think it's like, well, because I'm kind of back and forth on it, but that's kind of, you know, I actually think the best example of this is you shared a clip of a scouting clip with me recently.
Oh, it was the scout. I didn't think the scouting director for the Montreal Canadiens
Bobrov.
talking about
Bobrov.
Slafkovsky.
Yeah.
And it's one of the all-time shot call
2 minutes and
clips.
7 seconds. He makes a compelling case for why he's the right number 1 overall pick.
Yeah.
And it's very thoughtful.
Yeah.
And that's what happens in the room, right? You're just making a decision based on, here's my gut, here's why I think I'd go with this guy.
That's, I mean,
How it works.
If I was, I forget the guy's name. I feel bad now. But if I
It's
was
Nick Bobrov.
there you go, Nick Bobrov. If I was that guy, I would be putting that clip.
I'd be the GM somewhere. You guys seen this? Called it.
Called it.
Pittsburgh. What do you want to do? What do
It's up to you,
look-
bud. I mean,
I want to go back to Pittsburgh
Okay.
for a second.
Yep.
Okay. Because as we know, this is a team that we didn't forecast to be where they are right now.
Mhm.
Maybe Philly for that matter, but they are, and it's well earned. But it comes off the back still of their oldest players kind of carrying the hockey club. And I'm just asking you, if they lose tonight and they go down 3-0, they're on the brink, does it kind of take away what Kyle Dubas did in terms of still being in a spot where his best players are old, and although he found some nice pieces to kind of get them in the playoffs, are they still ultimately kicking the issues that we thought they had last year just down the road a little bit?
See, I don't think so, only because they've been conducting a rebuild while this is happening.
Yeah.
They have the most draft picks of any NHL team.
Which again
while it's
is
happening.
fine,
Yeah.
but then you just wait them out with Sid still and Malkin again next year and Letang, and you're going right back to that game plan and let your draft picks get better and
I
work
think it
yourself
depends
into
what those guys-
legitimate contention.
I think it depends what those guys want to do. Like, I would bet anything that Dubas wants to move on and wants to start this whole thing without that burden.
like the post Sid Letang.
Yes. And not because
Gino
of Sid
out.
by
No.
any means.
No.
But like, he's aware Letang is past his best before and
And he
Gino and all
hasn't been
that.
very good in the
But
first
there's
year.
this thing in Pittsburgh, right? Where like everyone wants them there. They want to be there. The organization wants to sell those guys. And I think his hands are a little bit tied by that.
Yeah.
You tell Sid, you got to go.
I just think,
Instant villain GM.
yeah, I think they've, I don't want to give too much credit to Kyle Dubas here, but I think they've kind of middled it perfectly. Like you have one sort of last ride here with the old dogs while kind of building up underneath it and kind of be in a position when they're done that you're not crappy, that you're sort of ascending to a position. I don't know.
I do think
But
it
it'll
is,
suck
though,
if
you
they
know what
get
it
swept.
reminds me of, Kip, is when the Leafs finally won a playoff round and they freaked out. They scored an OT, beat Tampa Bay.
Ugh.
We won Florida. They get the Cats.
Give me the
And
Cats.
And then they come out and they were so bad for the first 3 games that it was immediately like, oh. Like, and for me, that's this Pittsburgh thing. All right, we're finally, and it's like, oh, okay, well, it doesn't even matter.
Not to belabor the point, but you watch the celebrations after they won that first round series. Like I defended it in the moment, clearly. It's insane. Over the top celebrations. It was like cup clinching celebrations after they won that. Like the look on Sheldon Keefe's face, Kyle Dubas, it was insane.
It just speaks to the pressure.
Yeah, I know.
That they
I know.
felt.
Totally. But it
That's
was
all.
crazy.
Yeah, it was
back.
crazy.
It was like crazy.
Yeah, I know. That's
yet
why
another thing Kipper was right about. Damn. Damn.
I get
Still
it.
sharp, the old
I
guy.
get it. I get it. But especially on when you've been told you're no good and you'll never beat them and you're chokers and all of that. They had to overcome that. That was that spontaneous. But I look at Mantha, right? Anthony Mantha, 30 plus goals.
Mm-hmm.
Is that really him or is that a career year? Can he do it again next year?
Well, he is a fascinating character, right? Because he is a talented big guy. He's like Tage Thompson light sort of guy, but he can't stay healthy, and he doesn't have that. He's the reverse Josh Anderson, you know? Josh Anderson doesn't do as much in the regular season. He's able to find that next year. I don't know that Mantha has that. There are a lot of those guys. Brazeau's like that.
I didn't
Right?
realize what a big career year this was for Mantha.
Yeah.
It was way above his norm, like 8 more goals than he's ever scored in his career.
It's lots.
Yeah.
And what's he, 29 or 30?
He is 31 years old.
Yeah.
I still look at that Flyer lineup and I'm like, boy, is Rick Tocchet squeezing every
But this is
last
how
drop out of this
playoffs felt this
roster.
year, where like every team was like, I guess like someone's got to win, someone's going to
Sean
get through.
Couturier all of a sudden, like, oh, good player.
Yeah, no, I love Couturier in this sort of setting, playoffs. Like this is when you're happy to have a guy like that. But had it been Columbus or the Islanders or whoever, it's like it was always going to be kind of a
And like
not
Vladar.
unbelievable. Right. Well, he's been good. He's been legitimately very good. But yeah, that's the Michkov thing is interesting. I was actually going to ask you if you think so. He's playing 10 minutes per game. Martone's playing 15. There's
Well, one's one.
Do you think they trade
trusts
Michkov?
one more than the other?
Do you think they trade Michkov? Or is there a chance that this guy is? Flyer fans are like.
So, just to
very
go back to
polarizing topic.
one of the issues in Vancouver, I think, was Pettersson and what to do with Pettersson even before he signed.
Oh.
And I don't think Tocchet had buy-in on signing Pettersson.
Really?
And it was maybe kind of a similar vibe.
With the Michkov?
Yeah, with
draft
Michkov.
pick?
Yeah. No, just
Oh, he wasn't
right.
there for that,
Like
so.
questionable commitment. How is this guy in shape? Like all of the similar kind of things.
Mhm.
And Jimmy just went and signed him anyways.
Mhm.
And I think they still believe in Petey and they still think he can hang in there. I don't know how much of a trade talk we'll hear over the summer and who's ultimately in charge and who's the new general manager. And we'll have to wait and see on all of that. But it seems like once Tocchet feels like you got a player that's not all in, it's hard to get your minutes, man.
Like no one in the NHL has more eyeballs on them to hit the treadmill this summer than Michkov. Like everyone universally is like, this guy's not been in good enough shape this year. He can't keep up with the pace of playoff hockey right now. He's got to come back a different guy next year.
It has to be buy-in too, right? You just got to buy into all of that. And if
So
you
hard for
don't,
young guys
and Rick
Torts
Tocchet,
and Tocchet, what a
he
1-2
can't
punch for that kid.
get past him.
Before we go, reminder, this hour of Real Kyper and Bourne is brought to you by Bet365. And how about that Owen Tippett trade? Turned out great for the Flyers. That was for Giroux, right?
Yeah.
They got a first-round pick in that, too. He had us burst up the ice where it's like the super bad thing. He's the fastest kid alive.
Yeah, the best kid.
I couldn't believe how he is breathtakingly
The shorthanded
fast.
play he
7
makes
hits
to-
the other night, too.
He's a great player, man. Great player.
And his name comes up in like trade talks and stuff here and there. I've always thought he was a useful guy. I don't know.
They're
You know,
I said Penguins in 5.
a week or two ago, the fastest speed recorded in the NHL by a player was hit, and it was not McDavid or McKinnon. It was Buffalo's Beck Mallenstein. Mallenstein?
Really?
No.
How
Yeah.
fast?
Like 25 miles per hour.
That's fast.
Yeah.
That's so fast.
Just humming. Like driving beside your car or skating beside your car while you're doing like whatever that is.
That's crazy.
40.
Sammy, you okay with the Jays taking 2 of 3?
Yeah, they needed 2 to 3 here. Coming home, lick the wounds. 10-14. Head into a big homestand. Starts with the Guardians on Friday night. You can watch it on
Good to see
Sportsnet.
Jordan Romano, though.
Wow.
Our thanks to Mike Russo in the first hour and Kevin Bieksa, who joined us in studio as he gets ready for 3 games on tap. Pick yours, and we're back tomorrow to do it all over again on the Real Kyper and Bourne Show. If you get a chance, give us a rating and review. We'd love to hear from you. A thumbs up from YouTube. Enjoy your hockey tonight. Thanks for joining us.